Hi everyone, today I'm gonna take you through my day and show you what I eat on a normal fall day. I really like to stay eating in the season, so I have a local CSA box that sends me fresh produce each week from local farms, so I know that these vegetables are super fresh and in season, and it gives me lots of options to create new recipes, so I'm gonna have some delicious fall-y recipes to create today. So before we get started, if you're new here, first of all, welcome. My name is Mary Allison, but you can call me Mary A. On this channel, I teach you tips, tricks, and recipes to a plant-based lifestyle. So if that's something you like, then go ahead and subscribe below. So every morning I start my day with some celery juice or hot lemon water, and today I chose celery juice because, well, I haven't had celery juice in a long time, so here we go. I like to chop the celery up and then I put it in the Vitamix. I don't use a juicer because when I did, it didn't make as much celery juice as my Vitamix, so I always do it this way. After you blend it, you just pour it into your nut milk bag and then strain it all out, pour it into a glass, and enjoy it. Good morning, everybody. Now that I'm back from the gym, I'm going to show you what I'm having for breakfast, which is a pumpkin spice smoothie. So good. You're going to love it. All right, so first you're going to need 1 cup of frozen cauliflower, 1 frozen banana, a 1/4 cup of pumpkin puree. Mine was frozen, and then I had some leftover pumpkin smoothie that I'm using, 1/2 cup of chickpeas, about 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, about 1.5 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice, 1 teaspoon of vanilla, and 1 to 2 teaspoons of chia seeds. So just add all of your ingredients to a blender. I like using my Vitamix. I'm also adding in a little sprinkle of salt and a little bit of homemade almond milk. I don't use just a whole lot of almond milk because I like mine super thick, but you can use however much you want. I needed to add in a little bit more to make it a little bit smoother, and then I mix it up to make sure all the chunks get out of there and blend it one last time for good measure. Pour it into my glass. I only pour about half of it into the glass at first, and then I top it with Love Grown Power O's. You can use any cereal or granola of choice. These are my favorite because they're made from beans and have some protein, and they're unsweetened, completely plant-based, and gluten-free. Then I add in more of the pumpkin pie smoothie, pumpkin spice smoothie. Top it, make it all pretty with extra cereal or granola of choice. This is the part where you can get creative if that's your thing. Adding some extra cinnamon and pumpkin pie spice for more flavor. And you can't forget the nut butter drizzle. And this is why I don't put it in my smoothie, because I like it to be on top of my smoothie. But see, look at that drizzle. All right, so it is actually freezing here in Ohio in October, and ever since I had that smoothie, I've been so cold, so I'm gonna make some hot tea. I'm just using this little tea packet that I got from Whole Foods. It's called Tea Well Ginger Mint. Tastes really good. Just gonna boil some water and let it steep. All right, so I just take my little tea packet out, I put it in my cute little mug, pour in my boiling water, and then I just let it steep for a few minutes. Then grab it and enjoy. All right, so today for lunch, we literally have so many leftovers in our fridge, so I'm just gonna throw them all together and make it a salad and call it a day. So that's what we're doing. All right, so first get you a bowl, put in your favorite greens. And then I have some miso glazed roasted vegetables that were left over. It's eggplant, carrots, and peppers. Then I have some roasted sweet potatoes, also left over. Some air fried tempeh. Sauerkraut for some probiotics, plus I just love sauerkraut. And some sprouts. And then I top it with my miso tahini dressing. It is literally so good, I could drink it. So that is my hodgepodge of leftover salad. Always gotta love some good leftovers. All right, so now it is time for dinner, and I am creating an autumn harvest bowl. I have a bunch of fresh vegetables from my local CSA box, including some delicious delicata squashes and stuff. And so I have some good ideas of what I'm gonna do. Never made this before, but I know it's going to be fabulous. All right, so this salad actually was very fabulous. As you can tell, it looks absolutely amazing. First, I got some greens from my local CSA box. Also my delicata squash that I also got from my CSA box. Some Brussels sprouts. I got a Honeycrisp apple, but you can use whatever you want. Half a cup of cranberries, 1 pomegranate, some already steamed beets, cooked quinoa. I got some white beans. I use Great Northern, but you could use whatever you want. And then I made some homemade vegan feta tofu and then pumpkin seeds to top it off. All right, so this salad has a few components to it. So I first start with the delicata squash. I cut it in half. As you can see, it can be a little bit difficult, so make sure you have a really sharp knife. Then you're going to de-seed it, so take all of the seeds out of the middle of it. You could save them and roast them if you wanted to. I didn't really do that, but that's okay. I actually love this delicata squash. It adds so much like fall flavor to the whole entire salad. And then you just chop it into little semicircles, like so. About 1/4 of an inch thick or so, however you like it. All right, so once you have all of your delicata squash chopped up, get a bowl and then put all of your chopped delicata into the bowl so you can get it nice and seasoned to make it taste super folly and delicious. I use about 1 to 2 tablespoons of aquafaba, 1/2 teaspoon of cinnamon, 1/4 of a teaspoon of regular paprika, not smoked paprika, 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt, and then 1/2 cup of cranberries, and then I just give it a mix. And I use the aquafaba instead of olive oil here because I don't do oils. And then honestly, I forgot to add the sage, so I use some chopped fresh sage and put it in there. I use about 1 to 2 tablespoons of it, and it really adds a lot of flavor. I would highly recommend. Then you're gonna put it on a baking pan or baking stone. You can put parchment paper on it, but since I use a stone, I don't use anything because it's not necessary. Then you're just going to spread them out nice and even so that they aren't touching. I like to sprinkle some extra pepper on it over the top. And I also added in a little bit more salt. Then you're going to put it in the oven at 425 for about 25 minutes, and they come out deliciously beautiful like that. All right, so next we have the Brussels sprouts. So we roasted the delicata squash and we're also roasting the Brussels sprouts to give the whole salad a little bit more depth. So you're just going to wash the Brussels sprouts and then chop them all up into little pieces. You can do halves or quarters. I kind of did a mixture of both, as you can see. And then you're going to put them all in a big bowl together so that you can season them, give the salad extra flavor as well. I use 1 tablespoon of coconut aminos, 2 teaspoons of maple syrup, 1 teaspoon of chili powder, 1/2 teaspoon of garlic powder, and then I sprinkled in some salt. And then you want to mix it all together so that it gets nice and coated so that each piece is seasoned nicely and absolutely delicious. Then you're going to put them on a pan. You can use parchment paper, or I used this silicone baking tray sheet that I got from Amazon, and I can link that in the description below. And then I spread out the Brussels sprouts again so that they don't really touch each other that much. You just want to spread them out nice and even so that they cook very well. Put them in the oven at 425 for about 25 minutes. All right, so next I have a pomegranate, which I absolutely love pomegranates, and you can get them in the fall and winter time. And then I just chop it and then take all of the seeds out. This takes so much longer than it looks, y'all. Like, it took me forever to get all these little seeds out, but trust me, it is so worth it. All right, so next up we have the vinaigrette, which is absolutely delicious. I used juice from 1 whole lemon, and then 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, 2 tablespoons of Dijon mustard, 2 teaspoons of aquafaba, 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar, and then 1 clove of minced garlic. After you have all those ingredients in there, you're just gonna whisk it up with a little fork until it's nice and combined. All right, time for the assembly. Get a large bowl, place all the greens in it, whatever greens you want. I used mine from the local CSA box. Then I add in the roasted delicata squash and cranberries. I like to put mine in the middle. I tried to make it pretty, but you can really get creative here and make it however you want to assemble your own. Then I added in my white beans over to the side. I love white beans, they're so good. Then I added in some quinoa. I started using my hands, then decided, let's not be a savage today and let's use a spoon. So that's what I did. And you can really use as much cooked quinoa as you want here. And then I added in some chopped beets. I absolutely love beets, but if you're not a fan, then just omit them. But they're super good for your heart, along with the pomegranates. Also, I think the pomegranates look super pretty. Then I also chopped up some apples, and I'm adding those to the salad as well. Then the Brussels sprouts, these give it a nice flavor. I like adding the roasted vegetables to a salad so you have some depth and then also the freshness from the fresh stuff. Then I made homemade vegan tofu feta cheese. And so I had to make this in advance and let it soak overnight for 24 hours to give it lots of flavor, but I can add that recipe in the description below. And then I sprinkled it with some pumpkin seeds because it's fall, and who doesn't love pumpkin seeds on their salad? Gives it some nice crunch. And then finally drizzle it with the dressing, the maple Dijon vinaigrette. This is like one of my favorite salad dressings ever. It is absolutely amazing, and you should make it for every salad that you make the rest of your life because it is that good. All right, then you're just gonna give it a mix. Obviously so I had a giant bowl, but I put so much stuff in it that it was kind of hard for me to mix. So make sure you get a large enough bowl and don't overfill it like me if you wanna mix it all up. All right, so we just finished dinner, which was absolutely amazing. Like, that salad was wonderful. If you didn't already know, I eat dessert like pretty much every night, and so tonight is no exception. So I'm making a pumpkin chocolate chip cookies skillet, and it's like a healthy version. So if you want to add like any sweetener or whatever to make it a little sweeter, you can. I choose not to because I like it that way. So first you're going to need a very ripe banana. Make sure it's brown and spotty. Again, if you want your pumpkin skillet to be even sweeter, I would add some maple syrup or coconut sugar. Then you're going to add 1 can of drain and rinse chickpeas, about 1/4 cup of pumpkin puree, up to 1/2 cup depending on what you like, 1/2 cup of oats, about 1½ teaspoons of cinnamon, 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda and baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, 2 to 2½ teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And then you're going to blend it all together. You can scrape down the sides if you need to get it all nice and smooth. And then I had a leftover sweet potato that was roasted, and I was like, this would be very good in this cookie skillet, so I added it in. You could do the same, but you don't have to. I've had it both ways. It's so good with or without the sweet potato, so that's up to you. So make sure it is blended up nice and smooth to look like cookie dough. Scrape off the blade because we don't waste anything around here. Add in 1/4 cup of chocolate chips, or really however many vegan chocolate chips you want, because chocolate chips are really freaking good. Mix it all together so it's nice and uniform. And then you're going to put it in your cookie skillet. I use a cast iron skillet, and this one is about 6 to 8 inches. My husband and I share it every night, and we eat the whole thing. Yes, we actually eat the whole thing. But again, that's like 6 inches around. Then sprinkle in some more vegan chocolate chips if that's your jam, because who doesn't love chocolate chips? I like to do a little extra. Bake it in the oven at 350 for 15 minutes. Bring it out of the oven and look at that deliciousness. So that's what I eat on a typical fall day. I hope that gave you some new recipe ideas for yourself. And if you're also looking for some more vegan plant-based recipes, I created this playlist right here of some of my favorites. So go ahead and click that for yourself. So if you like this What I Eat in a Day, go ahead and click the like button, subscribe to my channel, and turn on post notifications so that you never miss a video from me. I will see y'all next time.